down.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me, as always, in the co-host seats are our good friends, Miss Angela Rose.
Hello, everyone.
And Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello again.
Tonight, we're going to have some fun talking about different things in the news, the shows we're watching, and whatever oddball topics come to mind. Good evening to everyone in the chat. John Knight, hello. How are you? Hopefully you've had a wonderful couple weeks. It's been a bit since I've been here because of work. And want to remind everybody, Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you by Triple S Lawn Care. If you're in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area and you're looking for quality lawn care at a great price, be sure to reach out to Triple S Lawn Care. They'll hook you up with awesome work. I think Darren's still got a few slots left, but spring season's right around the corner, and he's going to be getting busy.
Yeah, and you won't be here to help me, so...
We'll put Angela to work this time.
Tempting.
I'll be in town, and I kind of know what I'm doing.
I'll make sure to put her on at least one. How's that sound?
That could be fun. That could be fun and exciting. I got to see pictures. Or it didn't happen.
Hello, Ross. How are you?
I hope everybody out there is having a wonderful night. I know what some of our listeners and viewers are probably watching football games right now. NFL playoffs are going on, and 90% of the country, probably 90% of the world, is going against Kansas City. The last time I looked, the Chiefs were up 14-10, but that could be changed.
It has, because right now, according to ESPN, they're up 21-10, which when I last checked, the Bills were winning, but that has since changed.
John Knight in the chat says the English dub for 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You Season 2 premieres today, streaming on Crunchyroll. I am one episode behind of the sub on that. I'm also one episode behind on Toilet Season 2. Those are the only shows that I am currently behind on. I am watching way too much stuff this season, I should say. And surprisingly, Angela and I have 3 shows this season that we're watching.
And I believe all 3 of us have one show in common. I could be mistaken on that.
Honey Lemon Soda?
I believe so.
Oh, I thought you were going to say The Guild Receptionist.
Wait, are we all watching 2 shows?
I'm watching. Oh, so 4. I'm watching Guild Receptionist. So
that makes 4 that we're both watching, Doug.
So you and I are watching Honey Lemon Soda, My Happy Marriage, Season 2, Apothecary Diary Season 2,
and Guild Receptionist.
And meanwhile, for us, it's Guild Receptionist, Honey Lemon Soda, Sakamoto Days, and is there another one?
No.
Okay, so you share 3 with me, and 4
and 3 with Doug.
4 with Doug.
Now you and I have 4 shows we're watching. That's a new record.
No.
Yeah.
If we're all sharing 2, and then you add Apothecary and My Happy Marriage, that's 4.
Yep, Guild Receptionist didn't make the Guild Receptionist didn't make that silly little top 10 list.
That's why you forgot
Yep,
about it.
yep, and it's funny because I watched the most recent episode of that today.
And yes, Ross,
Wait, that
finally
dropped
got a
today?
scene that we didn't have to flip a table at on My Happy Marriage.
Yep.
And my wife and I were watching that, and I'm like, okay, well, here comes the interruption. I'm waiting for somebody to come in or something to happen to spoil the mood. And my wife's just like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. She'd already seen it, so she knew it was going to happen. She was mean and watched it when I was at work. And then when I got home, she's like, I'll watch it again.
Nope, My Happy Marriage is the one I'm watching without husband.
And Apothecary Diary season 2, I know that the first episode just got dubbed because Emmy Lowe was posting about Mau Mau on her Facebook page. So I sent her a message saying that not her cat Noctis needs a friend, a nice little calico cat named Mau Mau.
I maintain Apothecary Diaries is amazing.
It's a fantastic show. Now, Darren, did you start the Elf Girl's Cat is secretly an S-ranked monster?
No. That fell behind on my priority list, so no.
I just want to say that this show is something. It's not your typical harem show. Just because like the main male character is a cat, but he's got all these different kinds of female creatures that want to hook up with him.
Okay, so Interspecies Reviewers is found its way into other animes.
Because the elf girl wants the cat, the blacksmith, which is a cat girl, wants the cat, and then you have a dragon girl who wants the cat. It's so far, it's so out there that it's a train wreck that I'm probably going to continue watching just because
it's a beautiful train wreck.
No, just because it's like the Howard Stern show. If you don't like it, you keep watching to see what happens next.
Yep. I understand.
I don't think the show is going to be like good at all. I think it'll be okay. It's not terrible. I haven't dropped it. I think like the Okinawan Girl, I've dropped. I'm watching too much. I'm not going back to that one.
I never started it.
And Ross in the chat talking about My Happy Marriage said one thing that bugged him about My Happy Marriage new episode was when they said the word defect when explaining the antagonist they are currently dealing with to Maya. They never specified what they meant by defect. That may come in a future episode.
Would not be surprised if that is the case.
I will say his mom is an absolute bitch. The fact that she tried to be a nice bitch towards the end of the most recent episode, it's like, okay, you tried, but you still came across as just like Karen to the next level. But you knew there was something wrong with one of his parents when they first were going there. I thought it was going to be the dad. I didn't expect the mom to be as bad as she was.
I did. I kind of did, but
it is what it is.
Exactly. And I can't wait to see what happens next.
I mean, they already had the kissing. They already had the big kissing scene, and oh my God, his lips! How can I look at him? Oh my God! Oh.
She is so innocent.
She's also like her wishy-washiness is almost annoying to a point. The more that it continues, the more it's like just you almost want to slap her and be like, just snap out of it. Gain confidence. I understand, her upbringing, everything was basically like tortured out of her, but needs to start like manning up a little bit. She did a little in the last couple episodes, but she needs to stand up for herself more.
That is cool.
Ross, we'll see what happens there. I'm 100%.
I think we're all curious to see what's going to happen.
Unfortunately, I have no clue because I haven't watched it.
Darren got reincarnated as a lawnmower.
You know, there was a lawnmower simulator game, and anime is bound to follow eventually.
Why am I not surprised?
I'm just saying.
I have a game
Like,
for
look,
everything.
I have to say, the industry, I'm sure, is very different over there in terms of what the people with land in Japan actually use. But just saying, it's possible.
Uh,
Have a whole anime about how to run a lawn care company. There you go.
According to John Knight in the chat, yesterday was Kaiji Tang's birthday, the voice of Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen, and Jinshi in the Apothecary Diaries.
In convention news, I don't know if I can find. Here it is. I know it's a little ways away, but if I'm due to some recent guest announcements for Kineticon, I may be crazy enough to do a 4-hour drive out for a day and 4-hour drive back with the family. Currently announced guests for Kineticon include Max Middleman, Robbie Damon, Ray Chase, and then just recently announced Howard Wang, Christina V, Emmy Lowe, and Bryn April. I have not met Bryn in person yet.
I can't
Everybody
remember if
else
I have or not.
but Bryn and Howard, I have seen at conventions and have interviewed Bryn. Haven't interviewed Christina. Howard, I don't think I've seen at a con or talked to at a con yet.
And now, in the chat, None Your Business says, "This is why I like the game world genre better. They're practically the same
Thing.
but being largely Korean, there's a lot less harem or clueless MC."
Oh, but that's half the fun.
And Raw says, "I did drop an anime today, Escape from Princess Lesson. The main character fourth wall break is way worse than Deadpool's. The prince is obsessed pervertedly to the main character, and all the family doesn't care what she wants in her life, and the humor is dry and the romance is one-sided by the prince."
If you want to pick up a different romance anime, if you haven't started already, I'm getting married to a classmate I hate in my class. It's actually been going really good.
I like it.
I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying this show.
I like it a lot, actually.
And I know, Angela, you're picky about romance, but you might like this one.
You could have stopped with "I'm picky." I will freely admit that.
That's why I said you might.
She might get annoyed after the first episode, but as it goes on, I think she'd be able to tolerate it.
I mean, the first episode, there is some tropey stuff, but that's why you got to give it a couple episode trial.
Very big if. And then Sean Knight in the chat says, watched Spy Family Season 1 Part 1 Blu-ray. which was fun, and also Spy Family Part 1 English dub panel. Spy Family is just so good.
It is.
Yep, agreed. I still need to watch the movie.
She's got her Anya. We've got Spy Family stuff around here. I forget where everything is, but I know we have some because we got them out of gotcha machines at the mall. I do still have the free run figures right here. I got one that's up on the shelf up there. That Angela was so nice and surprised me with at AB last year. Which is surprising that we are not going to be at Anime Boston this year. No
I know.
AZR presence.
For the first time in I don't know how many years.
That's not COVID. Because obviously COVID years we couldn't go, but also I know that a lot of people have seen on social media that Max Middleman has been going through some health issues, some serious health issues. I've seen a lot of people posting about donations. Also, GalaxyCon has been putting stuff up for auction, and all proceeds are going to help him as well. So check out GalaxyCon's website for more information about what they're doing. I took a look at some of the auctions that they had up. A lot of autographed Funko Pops that you can bid on, autographed signatures. There was a Megan Shipman signed Anya picture that I thought about bidding on. But where money's tight at the moment, I refrained.
Speaking of Megan Shipman as Anya, John Knight was listing cast members from the Spy Family dub. Alex Organ as Lloyd, Natalie Von Sistine as Yor, Megan Shipman as Anya, Tyler Walker, scriptwriter, Chris George, director, and Anthony Bowling as Frankie.
Anthony was Frankie? Interesting.
Apparently.
Hmm.
That is a hilarious character.
Mm-hmm.
And Ross have an amazing time at Anime Fest. Ross says that this coming
Agreed.
Saturday, he's got Anime Fest going on. Actually, about 3.5 hours from me in Altoona, I think it's SetsunaCon is going to be going on.
Yeah, I do not have a convention before May this year, which is weird. Because PAX East is in May, and then 2 weeks later, I'm going to be down in North Carolina.
That's
And
SetsuCon. Is the one that's going to be going on at the Blair County Convention Center in Altoona. It's about 3.5 hours from me. The guests that they have lined up include voice actors Caitlin Glass and Sunwo Cho. Sunwo Cho, Laxadaisy, and Delicious in Dungeon was in God of War, Ragnarok, Borderlands 3, Gretzko, Ranking of Kings, One
who
Piece.
in Borderlands 3?
I'm not. It doesn't say.
Of course not, because that's a game I put way too many hours into.
I think he also recently was on Trash Taste. Let's see if it shows who he was in Borderlands 3 on here. Delicious in Dungeon, he was Senshi. Probably gotta go back a ways for Borderlands 3. He was in Odd Taxi. Pokemon Journeys. Borderlands 3 FL4K.
Okay.
So he's been voice acting for a while. On the behind the voice actors page, it says that he's got 95 images up of characters he's voiced.
And Ross says at Anime Fest he's going to try and meet Brittany Karbowski, Caitlin Barr, Bill Farmer, Stephanie Young, and Mallory Roddick.
Oh, Ross. Completely unrelated, but I just have to ask: were you a part of the blizzard of 2025 down your way? Genuinely curious.
And Ross says 11 years ago he did get to talk to Brittany Karbowski here on this very show back when it was on the Hazy Radio Network, and they talked about playing
Senran Kagura on the
on
3DS.
the 3DS. Thank you.
Oh wow!
Wow, that was a long time ago.
I remember when Senran Kagura was a popular anime for certain reasons.
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
a lot of plot,
Yes, a lot of plot and ninja.
a lot of ninja plot.
Well, okay.
I don't remember if I watched
Season 1 was good. Season 2 was crap. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Season 2
Ballet
was not good.
Monkey.
But isn't that the way a lot of these shows go sometimes?
Yeah, and what was ironic was thinking back to those early days, Hazy Radio. We had a show where we had a guest cancellation, so I reached out to, I think it was Felicia Angel and Bryn April, and both of them agreed to come on the show. One came on for the first hour, one came on for the second hour. And so we had two voice actors back to back that we had a wonderful time with. After the show was over, I went on eBay and found a 2-pack deal of figures for Senran Kagura. One was Bryn's character and one was Felicia's character. So I had to buy it. I put a bid in one. It was like $40 for 2 figures, which at the you couldn't go wrong for that. And they were legit figures. They weren't like knockoffs.
And to answer Darren's question, Ross says yes, 6 inches of snow disappear in a week.
Well, not to say disappear in a week. No, that's expected, but still, that's an impressive snowfall for that far south. We only got an inch out of it.
We got probably like 6 inches of snow out of the last snowfall.
We got less. We probably got 3 at most in my area.
Well, to be fair, y'all are used to it. We're not.
Yes.
North Carolina hasn't seen a decent snowfall since like 2018. And on that note, the South has never seen one like that.
So you're due for a good couple of feet.
Look, the last time it happened was in 2000. They were predicting like 2 inches and 20-something fell overnight.
Sounds like a typical February day in Syracuse.
Or New England.
Like I said, almost never happens here, so we take what we can get.
Darren, put your measuring tapes away. This isn't summer camp. Yeah.
Sorry, but when it comes to inches and snowfall down here, it's a big deal.
Whereas here it's feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also total highway shutdown is the other thing. Because the pictures they took from Louisiana, you will never see again. The whole like 10-mile stretch of bridge being closed.
I saw
And
pictures and video of highways that were just absolutely barren, not a single car, and it's usually packed and almost look
yep,
like ghost towns for some areas down there, Florida, and
yep, exactly.
a
My
lot of craziness going on weather-wise this year.
the people I knew that lived in Louisiana made the most out of their enjoyment, but after 2 days, they're like, okay, we're out of snacks. You can melt now.
21-16 at the halftime.
Yep.
So Pop Girl has got to be going insane. I mean, they're only down by 5, but Pop Girl is a huge Bills fan. I almost want to shoot a message to her.
Do it. What the heck? I'm sure she's up watching anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
I shot her a quick message.
Oh, good.
Told her if she got tired of watching the Bills, she could always tune into us.
Mm-hmm. Or, yeah, no. I have to say she gets tired of it.
We're frustrated about the NFL, the Kansas City
Well,
NFLs.
well, I have to say football is one of those sports where you can watch it muted, but it doesn't pay to watch it muted because you never know what you're going to hear.
And going back to Ross's comment, Ross, about all the voice actors he's going to meet coming up at Anime Fest, I hope you have an amazing time. And I remember you offering to get Mallory's autograph on a free run picture for me. I thank you for the thought, but you do not have to do that. I do appreciate that you love doing stuff like that for us. It does mean a lot. Just having you here every time we go live is more than enough. It means the world to us. And question from Ross from me. He says, Doug, here's a question for you. Liking fantasy type shows, have you checked week appraisal skill? I'm actually the strongest yet. And the answer to that is yes. I did start watching that. And it actually has been decent. It kind of feels like the one that came out last season a little bit. But even given the worthless appraiser class, I'm actually the strongest. It has been good. I think the one that I went into with the least amount of hope and has actually been surprisingly good was the middle-aged online shopper. I wasn't expecting anything from that, and that's actually been pretty good as well. And that was another one that you talked about, Ross. And Ross is saying Yuri, best girl of season. Is she the tree spirit from that one? Because I don't know. Mama could be best girl.
Oh, Anime Corner shared their top girls from each season from last year, and my girls got every single one of my girls got every single season, except for one because I didn't watch it.
And Angela doesn't care.
Correct.
Sorry, I gotta talk about the waifus or the best girls.
I'm not stopping you guys from discussing this. I just don't care. This is not relevant to me.
Who would you say of the shows that you've watched has the best female character
This season,
this season?
honestly, In terms of waifu or in terms of best
Overall.
character?
I would say best character because waifu everybody can argue over, but best character, like you see, there's some that have a really good character development characters out there.
Honestly, I'm gonna say I will actually say Mao Mao is one of them.
And that's why I said I felt like Mao Mao could be best girl of the season
And
off of the
see,
shows I'm watching.
and see, when I think of best girl like that, I don't think of character development.
Mm,
You
I'm
think
not.
waifu?
I suppose so, but
And Ross says to respond about the autograph, he gave up and decided to get it for himself instead. Good.
As far as best girl for the season for me out of what I'm watching, uh, best girl character, quality wise, I would actually have to say Sakamoto's wife.
she's another good character.
My favorite from this season so far, definitely what's her name from The Girl I Hate. Let's see, what's her name again?
Oh,
Akane.
the girl he hates.
Yes,
She's
Akane.
adorable.
She is. She is turned into my favorite female from this season. Now granted, she is adorable in her own right.
But the girl that he's constantly at war with and forced to marry, when she's not on his case about everything, she's actually a cute, attractive girl.
Exactly, and her mannerisms just I love them. I love it.
Excuse me.
Ross says Ross Wise autograph is mine.
Ross, please, Ross, please. I love I love my silver-haired Valkyrie. Not one of my waifus from that series, but still a very good character, especially when she's drunk. She's hilarious.
And then another show that's been somewhat decent. Welcome to Japan myself. That's been a little bit better than what I was expecting. I wasn't sure what to expect from it. The fact that they can transport worlds back and forth depending on where they fall asleep. If they fall asleep in modern day, they go back to the world that the elf came from. When they die in the elf world, if they're holding on to each other, they both somehow end up in Tokyo.
Hmm. So
And
it's kind of
he has to try to, explain his world to the elf from his dream world.
so it's kind of different. Well, it's somewhat of a similar premise to the plus size elf from the other season because they were able to go back and forth as well.
I almost like it more towards like a modern day, almost little like different time frame, but it almost has an Inuyasha style feel of how they can travel back and forth between worlds with the two of them. It's not just one.
I feel like that's a common fantasy thing because there's a book by Brandon Sanderson that kind of explores that very concept.
And it seems like when he goes to bed, the only thing he brings to his dream world with him for whatever reason is the bentos that he makes. So he'll make himself lunch. So the food and drink he makes will go with him into the dream world, where nothing else he tries to bring with him will go. So they're trying to figure out how they're able to transport back and forth between his normal world and the dream world where he's an adventurer, where he met this elf girl, where he brings her back with him to his world, and now he's trying to explain, cars and buildings and electricity to an elf girl he makes her wear a hat to hide her ears and things of that nature so she doesn't draw attention to herself. And it's been a cute show.
You just had to go and mention Dream World. You brought back a old anime to mind. That was actually one of my, and still is one of my favorite Undermined series, and that's Dream Eater Mary. Because a lot of the events take place in the dream world.
Yeah, I've never actually seen it. Let's see. Ross says there's a show that him and Darren have seen. It's called I Have a Crush at Work.
Yep,
And the
yep,
romance and comedy of the couple is so adorable. I don't have much typing space. So, Darren, tell Doug more.
Basically, you have a couple that's been dating for a while at work, and they absolutely refuse to let their coworkers know that they're dating. They work in different departments, and she inadvertently almost always goes out of her way to be extremely hard and rude to him, hard on him and rude to him whenever she does stuff. But of course, slip ups happen, chaos ensues, and it's fun. It's fun to watch. Is
You
it
like
one of
that
my favorites?
chaos.
Yes. Is it one of my favorites this season? Not really, but at the same time, is it a fun show? Yes.
No,
The dynamic. Now, here's the thing though. At home, when they're both together, oh my gosh, it's like the most lovey-dovey couple you can get to an extent. But at work, it's like they're total strangers. Even though their coworkers can kind of pick up on the fact they have a connection, they don't assume that it's actual relationship. They just figure they get along together, and but you know the saying, opposites attract.
yeah, that was a
That,
song
that
too.
yeah. And Ross, nice spoiler. I was not gonna say that, but yes, he's correct. Normally you have to wait 12 to 24 episodes to even get a hand holding or a kiss out of them. They just did that in the first episode. Well, we can't say anything. The guy got married to the girl in the first episode and skipped everything else, kind of like Tony Kawa.
Yeah,
Well, all right.
Marriage first, everything else later.
that's what's going to happen to Darren. It's going to be marriage first, everything else later.
Shut up.
That's the first time that he snapped at me like that. That's great.
Oh, you hit where it hurt.
Sorry.
See, there's so much I can say here, but I don't
She's
even know
being
where to
nice.
I don't even know where to begin.
I mean, that his shut up even got a reaction out of you, so I'm proud of that.
Well, that's the first time I think y'all have officially got me, because I've always gotten the both of you.
I'm the one that reacts, and I know this. I've come to the conclusion that's half the shtick at this point.
To answer
Getting a
Ross's
reaction out of
question,
you,
I am.
getting a reaction out of you is normal, and getting a reaction out of Doug a little bit harder. Getting a reaction out of me, well, y'all finally did it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I'm like wearing that one with pride.
Is
Only
asking
for 3 years.
Ross asking anyone else watching headhunting in another world or Fruit Master skill?
Yes
No,
and yes.
no.
Nope.
I am watching both. Like I said, here is my current list of shows that I am watching. Married to a Classmate I Hate, possibly the greatest alchemist of all time, Headhunted to Another World, Elf Girl's Cat, secretly an S-ranked monster, Bogus Skill, Apothecary Diary Season 2, Happy Marriage Season 2, 100 Girlfriends Season 2, Honey Lemon Soda, Middle-Aged Shopper in Another World, Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf, Guild Receptionist, Toilet Season 2, and then I think I had added another one.
Did you officially drop the Okinawan Girl?
I did. I watched one episode and then just did not watch another one.
And that was originally on my list. I don't know. How does 100 Girlfriends still have over an 8 rating?
I don't know. I'll watch probably after the show tonight. I'll watch the latest episode and see if it's any better than what I've seen thus far.
This episode revolves around Hahari antics, so anything's possible with her.
Yeah, no, believe it or not, I'm
About to say your turn to list off what you're watching.
nope, same as last time with the addition of Sakamoto Days.
So she's watching Vending Machine, Reincarnated as a Sword.
Nope. Zenshu. Go back. To do this, Guild Receptionist, Sakamoto Days, Apothecary Diary Season 2, My Happy Marriage Season 2, Honey Lemon Soda, Zenshu, and Ameku MD Doctor Detective.
Sharka.
Zenshu's an isekai, and I'm actually really, really enjoying it. It's also
Write
done
that
by...
down. Write that down.
That said, it's also done by Studio Mappa, which has not disappointed me.
They rarely do.
There are certain studios where
they always put out bangers.
Yeah.
Trigger is one that usually puts out good stuff.
Trigger, Mappa, Cloverworks,
Madhouse,
and JC Staff is another one. But oh god, here we go with Ross and the sidetracking questions. When is...
I'm guessing when is Tomo, the name of the cat, going to get a telepathy skill to talk to the elf and cat girl, so that's not just the Earth Dragon girl. So what he's talking about in the elf girl's pet is a S-ranked monster. The cat can telepathically communicate with the Earth Dragon girl. The cat kills the Earth Dragon in order to receive the eye to save the elf girl, who is his master. The soul of the Earth Dragon, after it dies, gets reincarnated into human form, but is a very sick, twisted, demented character. And because of just the character design and the look, my wife started watching that with me. She wanted to see what this character was, and has turned it into, why does everybody want to bone a cat? That's what this show is the joke of this show now is going to be how many different people want to try to sleep with this cat, which apparently does have the crossbreed skill. They know it's not an ordinary kitten. They think it's a elemental kitten. They don't know it's a behemoth.
As for my list this season, I got Sakamoto Days, 100 Girlfriends Season 2, Married to a Classmate I Hate, Honey Lemon Soda, Guild Receptionist. Madaka Kuriowa is impervious to my charms. Crush at work. And let's see. There's one or two others further down here. Where is it? Oh yeah, Neat Kunoichi. Basically living with an otaku neat. And I think that's it. I may add more. It depends on what I have time for.
I would say check out Elf Girl's Cat is a behemoth. I think you would enjoy that one, Darren. Especially due to the fact that you enjoy fan service, and this is like overloaded with fan service.
And
it's been a minute since I've seen a quality fan service anime, to be honest with you.
And this is a write it down moment. There are 2 shows that all 3 of us are watching simultaneously, and that hasn't happened ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the first time Angela and I have 4 in common.
Yep.
And Darren, you and I have 4.
Okay. Because I was about to say, you and her normally share 1 or 2 tops, and then me and you normally share quite a few.
And then normally I have 1 or 2 with each of you, not both.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised that there's an isekai that I'm watching that you 2 aren't.
Yeah.
That is worth noting.
And I have to ask your opinion of the Honey Lemon Soda, the female character, the main female. What's your opinion on her?
Jury's still out.
It's nice to see her coming out of her shell, though. I mean, going from the girl that's literally forgotten about, bullied, picked on, to someone actually becoming self-aware of herself, and that is actually worth something is still.
It is, but at the same time, her lack of
Drive, self-awareness.
They're kind of overdoing the awkwardness to the point where it's almost annoying.
I can kind of agree to
that. Hence why I say jury's still out.
Like she's almost, she's not quite to Bocchi the Rock level of awkwardness, but the fact that she second guesses everything, she kind of reminds me of what's her name from My Happy Marriage, where different circumstances to where they don't have any self-confidence or almost any self-respect. It seems like they're afraid to do anything, but they both have very similar. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do this because I'm just in the way.
I will actually disagree on that one. I actually, with Mio, there's a lot more growth. Mio's actually coming, I would argue, is starting to come into her own quite a bit more.
It's taken 2 seasons. We're still first season of Honey Lemon Soda, so she's like early on Mio. I'm seeing it almost feels like a similar path. Obviously, different circumstances that led them to act how they do.
I will say this: out of the romance anime I have watched recently, Honey Lemon Soda's, it's cute, but it's arguably the weakest of the romance animes I've watched recently.
After I watched the first episode, I said it could be either really, really good or really, really bad. I don't know if it's going to be a mid-level, like, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't anything wonderful.
See, I think that's where I see it going at this point. But again, jury's still out. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna keep watching it for now.
Likewise.
You're gonna get to the point that you finish it because you watched so much of it. You're like, I might as well just finish this train wreck.
Well, there are a couple of shows I dropped at episode 9 out of 12, so we'll
That's
see.
sacrilege. If you're going that far, you might as well just finish it.
They must have really pissed her off.
No, just
Bored you?
School days. Should have dropped it at episode 10.
I was about to
I've
say
never
it
seen
didn't even
School
fit
Days.
it didn't even fit the tags on the thing until episode 11.
No, I'm just gonna say the ones I skipped at that point, it just got one we just got bored with, and then got too busy, and everything else took priority, and the other just got too repetitive.
Well, about to say, at least there's one show that we watched all the way through. You dropped at the pilot.
And that show shall never be named again.
What was the name of that show, Darren? I forget.
No, you didn't.
I think it was I don't remember.
Interspecies reviewers there.
No, there was no pilot for that.
Or Ghost Stories.
Oh, Ghost Story is one of the best dubbed anime of all time.
I've never seen it.
I've seen plenty of the clips. That's all I've seen.
When you factor and Ghost Stories falls into the realm of when you watch it, think about the time frame that it aired and what they did with it when you sit down and watch it, and that's why I say it's one of the greatest dubs of all time. It wouldn't fly today. That's
No.
damn sure.
John, to answer your question, because it got, in my opinion, it just got a little too ridiculous for my liking. It just became a not for me.
That's when she started watching Reincarnated as a pig.
Nope.
Oh,
I didn't even start that one.
I watched episode 1 of it, I think.
If it's got Reincarnated in the title, the likelihood of me watching it is almost zero.
Slime is one worth watching, period. Just saying.
I will say,
I honestly think of all the reincarnated ones, that is the best one that I have seen, period.
based on things other friends have told me about Slime, it falls under the not for me.
I mean, Slime has some really good world building, some good character development. I've only seen season 2, part 1. I haven't gone beyond that, so I don't know if it's gotten even better. But
it has. So, question: in what you've watched, has Walpurgis happened yet?
has what?
Walpurgis, the meeting of the demon lords.
I don't think so.
Okay, so never mind. Because
Malim is still best girl from that show, though.
Mm-hmm. So he hasn't. So Clayman's still around, right?
I think the last episode I watched, Rimuru was like giving himself up to be a demon lord.
So okay. So right as Diablo was introduced.
So Ross has posted his watch list for now.
Oh, and I forgot about Ari Puerta because it's continuing from last season.
Oh yeah, I have a continuation from last season too, which was Amagi Sisters.
Oh, and that one. Yeah.
Ross's list is Ari Puerta, Happy Marriage Season 2, Fruit Master, Appraisal Skill, Behemoth, Ninja Neat, Leftover Amagami, Blue Exorcist 4, 100 Girlfriends, Miss Elf, Hanako Season 2, and Headhunted.
Oh, Ross, tell me your opinions on Ninja Neat. Because I don't care what anyone says, I'm actually enjoying it.
And while Ross is thinking up his answer to Darren's question, I will comment about Headhunted. That has been an interesting show. A little bit of a synopsis for those of you who haven't heard of it or aren't watching it. Basically, you have your typical Japanese salaryman, overworked, underappreciated, treated like crap. Sees everybody around him getting promotions, moving up, and he keeps getting, sent to these horrible, horrible places to try to make the impossible happen. Uh, to which he ends up being summoned by the Demon Lord and ends up working for him to basically do for the Demon Lord what he's been doing in the human world. The difference is the Demon Lord appreciates the stuff he does, compliments him when he does a good job, and even rewards him fairly. His biggest issue is his coworkers, including like a dragon nuke girl who's obviously fallen for him. She's a cute character.
Most all dragons are cute in your book, Donkey.
And Ross continued his list with Crush at Work, Phantom Trigger, Middle-Aged Shopper, Dr. Stone Season 4.
Yeah, I'm disappointed I left off on Dr. Stone. That was one of my favorites for a while.
And then he dropped Escape on Princess Lesson.
NFL update. 156 to go in the third quarter. Buffalo Bills 22, Chiefs 21.
Oh boy.
Bills got a touchdown, went for a 2-point conversion, and failed. Josh Allen was sacked.
They're trying to keep it a nail biter.
They did last week.
Ross continued his list with Crush Work, Phantom Trigger, Middle-Aged Shopper, Dr. Stone 4.
Yeah, Angela just read this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the football scores.
When football it takes precedence over anime during a live show, what have we fallen into?
We have fallen into
a New England sports fan.
Yeah. And Ross actually gave an opinion on Ninja Neat. Ross says he likes it, totally funny. Also, like she kind of wants to be romantic with the master, is adorable, but be herself. And Hina is to me best girl. And he doesn't like Ayami, who is creepy.
There's a reason they're creepy. It was revealed in the second or third episode as to why. And basically, it's like gushing over magical girl's level of masochism toward a certain character. So, of course.
Is that what you're looking for, Darren?
What? No, we're gonna fight.
Sorry, I got a rise out of you, so now I'm working extra hard to try to get another one.
That one wasn't quite a rise. That was just like, oh, come on.
Oh, I know, but still a reaction.
And Ross says Ayami is perverted using magic to be feminine creep. I am confused, and that's okay.
I'm guessing you have to watch the show to find out.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it away.
Fair.
Was it Ninja Neat?
Yes, Ninja Neat. You got... so basically, there are ninja, and there are also monsters like kaiju per se, or I forget what they're called in this particular show, but they keep showing up to certain people, and these ninjas basically find someone where that they're appearing behind and deal with them and protect them, and they have a whole relationship, not a romantic one, but like a contract relationship. And this girl basically contracts to move in and live as a neat, and in exchange, she deals with the stuff that's trying to kill him. And stuff happens.
Oh, okay. I think I know
And
the show you're talking about.
yeah,
Yes,
and
Roberto.
then and then another
Oh God.
and then another pairing shows
It's been
up.
almost a year, Angela. We still haven't let that go.
I'm aware.
It never will.
I'm very much aware of this.
We'll have to see if we can get Lady Beard back on the show again. Maybe see if he wants to come back on in April, and we can continue the tradition of Roberto a year later.
Oh God.
Yeah, and bring Julia on at that time so she can really fangirl.
We don't want to scare Lady Beard. Could Angela be too much for Lady Beard to handle? Tune in on the next.
Oh God. Just no.
Trifecta.
If we really wanted to go completely haywire, we could get Token with the Dead on too.
That would be fun.
And I can tell you how Plymouth is Boston.
Plymouth is not Boston. I don't care.
But go ahead.
Oh God. Yeah, no.
On a different topic, though, news came down recently. Darren, I think it was Darren, that you shared the news article about Sony wanting to do away with Blu-ray, not making anymore.
Yep. Sony has announced that February 2025 they are ending all Blu-ray related productions, which sucks because they claim it's no longer profitable for them, and as a result, they're doing away with it. So basically, consume all the Blu-rays that are out while you can, because the chances of more getting made or devices to read said Blu-rays getting made are going away, much like VCR did, and then DVD.
And so, knowing John Knight in our chat is a huge collector of Blu-rays, I'm curious as to what your opinion is about this. Is this something that you thought was going to happen eventually, or are you sad by it? I'm curious. I'm not going to read Ross's comment.
and also the guy we watched in the video with breaking the news made a very valid point. If you go into like Best Buy or Target, they pretty much eliminated their Blu-ray and DVD sections from their stores.
Walmart still has a small one. Target out here still has an area. But like FYE, where I used to go to get a lot of anime and stuff like that, they've done away with a lot of
Wait.
DVDs, Blu-rays of all genres, not just anime.
Wait, FYE still exists?
Yeah, very few stores, but yes.
In Allentown, there's an FYE. It's got more multi-genre content. That you can find like anime figures, Disney stuff, Ghibli stuff. You can find horror stuff in there. They've got a lot of international snacks and things like that. Not so much media. Well, they have like music section where you can still buy albums. Albums have made a comeback. It's really crazy to see. But you can find a lot of albums at FYE now of modern day musicians, not just the older albums.
Yeah, no, record. It's one of those things. records are making a comeback, which is really odd.
Timeless. Well, look, eventually you get a generation that's going to hype on the nostalgia of something from their past, and they're going to try and find some way to modernize it or bring it back.
Yep.
The 8-track. No.
No, no, that's my uncle. That is my uncle Doug, and you know it. I showed you his video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we used to
that's
have
my
an 8-track player in the house when I was growing up. I've talked about this before. My dad was very big into music. He had everything from reel to reels to 8-tracks, 45, 78s, 33s, 16s, cassettes, CDs.
Yep.
No, my parents had a record player, a tape cassette deck, and a CD player.
How many of us had the tape player where you put the blank tape and you want to record the songs off the radio, but you had to be quick with the stop button when the song ended? And you always miss like the first few seconds because you'd hear the song and then have to hit the play record button.
Mm, never did that. The closest I got with that was a VHS tape.
Um, I was notorious for uh recording like hour-long blocks on the radio specifically so I could catch certain songs. And None Your Business says FYE has been replaced by Newbury Comics.
Not out here, they
And
haven't, but
other commentary in the chat, John Knight still got anime Blu-rays, and Ross finds it weird because nothing wrong with his Blu-ray player. It's still in good condition, so no reason to get rid of Blu-ray because streaming.
and I do a lot of streaming just because, and when you're in an apartment, Angela can attest to this, you are limited on space. So having shelves and shelves and shelves of manga or Blu-rays or anything sometimes isn't
Um,
feasible.
Fun fact, you can see almost my entire living room.
Yep.
Well, the the thing about having shelves and shelves of physical media versus one thing with just data on it. The physical media you're gonna have to physically do something to get rid of it. The data can be gone with the click of a button.
Yeah, and that's
There
the
we
thing
go.
that's
That was
sad
bothering me.
is knowing that the entertainment world is trying to get rid of physical media to where they basically you don't buy anything anymore. You're technically paying to rent it, and then once they're done hosting the servers for a game or a show or whatever, they'll just drop it, get rid of it, and then you don't have access to it anymore, even though you paid for it.
Hmm. And we've already seen this in the anime industry.
With Funimation,
Hmm.
we've seen it in video
Anybody that
game.
bought anybody that bought digital titles when they transferred over to Crunchyroll, they lost access to them.
So it's scary to see the way that the world is going with everything being electronic, digital, and media driven and stuff of that nature. I mean technology, and I've said this for years. Technology is a blessing and a curse because in one way it can help make things better for us, and another way it ultimately is going to make it worse.
Hmm. It's a
Yep.
double-edged sword.
Kind of like Angela and the isekai genre, double edged sword.
Not quite, but sure.
You found an isekai that you're enjoying that neither Darren nor I are watching. That's scary.
It wasn't by her choice, though.
Close enough. And I'm aware that husband got me to agree to it by pointing out it was Mappa.
Well, I have to say math is a good reason. So
I please note, I didn't argue with that. I said I would give it a few episodes, and I'm actually enjoying it.
Did you watch any Jobless Reincarnation, Ange, or was that one you're like, nope?
Nope.
Because I know I was late to the party of Darren talking about it for months and months and months, and then my wife finally talked me into sitting down and watching it with her, and it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
well, I mean, how could you not love the art and animation behind the studio that literally was created for that particular show? Because the graphics and visuals in season one were just stunning.
I will, talking about art styles and graphics, I will say I'm tossed up by the art style for Honey Lemon Soda. Something about it just like the story has been okay, the characters are okay, but something about the art style is just unsettling.
Ross, you're talking about the manga, the manga for A Sign of Affection. Will resume February 21st. Volume 12 will be released on February 13th.
I think the manga for Married to a Girl I Hate in My Class just ended. I think. I don't remember.
I did just finish volumes 4 and 5 of Freerun, so I've got to throw a couple more books in my bag for the next train trip.
Have you caught up to the anime yet, or no?
After volume 5 of the Freerun manga, they are getting ready to start their second test of the Mage Trial. They had just completed the first test where they broke off into the teams of 3, and all that stuff happened. But I didn't want to just jump ahead on the manga from where I left off in the anime. I wanted to read it in succession. Jumping to a different topic, and this is one that could fall into Angela's wheelhouse. Video games. When you're playing video games, do you ever feel like you need to be a completionist? Are there any games where you feel like you're not done with it until you 100% complete it?
I have exactly one video game that I have completed to 100%.
What about you, Darren? Any of the Pokemon games you get to 100?
Yeah, well, I didn't complete everything in the game because it's hard as hell to do. And honestly, it is the hardest Pokemon game in existence. I don't care what anyone says. But I completed the Pokedex on my Pokemon Emerald game, but I did not conquer the Battle Frontier. The Battle Frontier is the hardest thing Pokemon ever put out, period. Because some of those things you have to win almost 100 battles in a row against incredibly challenging AI.
No, and honestly, most video games, they make the trophies, they make them so ridiculous that it's just like, but why bother?
Well, guess what? There are people out there that have too much time on their hands, and they're like, I'll do it just for the thrill of it, just to prove I can. Or they'll stream it and get a lot of people involved in it, and then
Oh,
rack in the views for it.
Oh, I'm 100% aware. And the one game that I did 100%, it was because uh, somebody from Achievement Hunter at the time commented about it, and I went back to see how many I was missing, and I was only missing 4. And 3 out of the 4 were stupid things that I could do literally in less than an hour. And then the last one was a needle in a haystack that I happened to get in 30 seconds.
Oh wow. Well, it's funny. There's this one reel or page or something I've seen in my reels that'll do like random facts about the Pokemon games. And like the reason a lot of that stuff is so hard to complete is because of how they hide certain Pokemon. And and Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, there was one Pokemon you could get in 6 tiles of the whole game, and the appearance rate was less than 5%.
Yep.
And what brought that question to mind was my wife restarted Pokemon Arceus recently because
Oh wow!
she wanted to complete everything, and not just complete the Pokédex, but every Pokemon that you find in that game, you need to capture X amount of this Pokemon. You need to capture X amount tiny or X amount large of the Pokemon. You need to catch different species of the same Pokemon. You need to see it use certain moves X amount of times. And it could be anywhere from 5 up to 25 times.
Did anything about natures? Because that was the other thing that'll determine your Pokemon strength. Like in competitive play, it's not about finding the Pokemon itself. It's also about getting one with a good nature because like you can get a nature that promotes certain things but detracts from other things. And what if you get one where that specializes in say special attack, but its nature demoralizes special attack? That's like you really want to get one that promotes its strength and then detracts its weaknesses that it may already be weak to anyway.
I've
Or
never
you
looked that deep into it.
And Ross says he burned out on Arceus and got rid of it because I already completed the story, but doing the Pokedex was taking way too long.
Well, of course. I don't know how big the Pokedex is in Arceus, but look, just completing the Gen 1 Pokedex was hard with red, blue, and yellow. Then you add in Gen 2. Gen 3 took me forever. That's 386 Pokemon. Then you go to Sinnoh, which was 493. That's Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver. Then you add in Gen 5, that's over 500. Then you go Gen 6, that's over 600. And also at that point, that's when they started to introduce Pokemon Home because the boxes in the game could no longer hold all those Pokemon. For whatever reason, after Generation 4, they cut, I think to promote online storage or on the console storage, they got rid of the number of Pokemon you could store on the game itself. It was like, how are you supposed to complete the Pokedex and retain all those Pokemon if you can't even store them? Like, if you're aiming to complete the Pokedex, you basically have to have however many games required, and then you'd also have to trade them there just long enough to get the Pokedex entry off of them, then trade them back if you couldn't store them. Like
That is
completing the Pokedex was feasible up until about Generation 4, and then much past that, it's ridiculous. That's why a lot of times they say they want you to try and aim to complete the local Pokedex, like that region's Pokedex, because there's always two Pokedexes. There's the one for that region, and then there's the national dex. The national dex, you're always going to need a variety of games to complete, but the regional Pokedex can generally be completed either can be completed with the 2 games or from the two pairs of games from that generation.
Oh my
And
god.
and I picked now to go on a Pokemon rant, which I was supposed to do a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'll be honest with you, I kind of quit playing Pokemon after Gen 7 because Gen 6 personally had the best games. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were peak Pokemon for me. Like, those were my absolute favorite of all the newer games. Sun and Moon, no thank you. They were interesting, but no. And then I never got to play Scarlet and Violet, and I never played Sword and Shield.
But you did play Pokemon Go.
For a little while till my phone ran out of storage.
Yeah,
And
I
at
kind of
that
got rid
point,
of Pokemon Go too.
it was still all Generation 1 Pokemon. They went to Generation 2 right around the time that I lost storage I ran out of storage on my phone.
Now you got the Pokemon TCGP, the mobile app for the phones.
Oh, by the way, I need to go to McDonald's and get my Pokemon Kids meal.
Angela, you need to get back in drive-through so he can get the Christmas
No, just no.
stuff.
I saw on Facebook somewhere that commented that they had a guy go into the store and offered the cashier $50 or the manager $50 for all the stuff they had and cleared them out.
I think you need to tilt the camera down a little bit, Ange. You can see the top
Yeah,
of
I
your head.
can't see your that, or you need to lean back in the chair. There you go.
Because when you lean forward, we basically get from your eyebrows up.
I didn't. Oh, and now Anya's not visible. Grr.
There you go.
Good enough. Good enough.
She's right there.
All I'm gonna say is just no.
That's one nightmare you never want to revisit.
No, I don't.
So,
Well, I want them just because I already know. I've learned to play the collector's game, and I intend to this time because you'll know they'll be worth something. Anything Pokemon is
Is
going to be
worth
worth
something.
exactly.
I'm not.
I know many friends that are kicking themselves for getting rid of their Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic cards back in the day.
I can honestly say I'm annoyed with my mom for throwing away magic cards that I had from 1996.
yeah, I kind of wish I still had some of the Magic cards, and I had some Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. I had 2 Blue Eyes White and 1 Red Eye Black.
It on anime news, the anime I was looking forward to, Past the Monster Meet Malay, has been delayed to fall. Yet new anime being announced are showing up for spring. That's always how that goes. It seems.
And so, out of curiosity, I know it's still early in the winter season, but what has been your favorite show thus far? And this goes
Girl
to
I
the
hate.
chat as well. What was that, Darren?
Married to the Girl I Hate.
What about you, Ange?
Honestly, probably Apothecary Diaries.
I
Okay,
think
what? What about new shows, not continuations?
I don't know yet.
If I'm going new show, I would probably be right there with you, Darren, with Married to a Girl I Hate in my class. Overall, I would say Apothecary Diaries season 2. Although Guild Receptionist has been decent.
Guild
Guild
Receptionist is
Receptionist,
fun.
That's
it is.
just an entertaining show. The
My
fact that
house,
she'll kick anybody's ass to get out of work on time and not have overtime is awesome.
my house, they destroyed my house.
That one's fun. But I don't know if I'd call it my favorite.
I mean, there's a lot. Granted, I'm watching a lot of shows, and they bounce around a little bit on genres, and some of them I probably normally wouldn't give the time of day to, but there's a lot, and we've talked about this before. I feel like watching like 14, 15 shows, a lot of it's just mid. It's just, okay, I'm just going to watch this. It's kind of mindless entertainment. It's not fantastic. It's not top tier level stuff, but it's not, bottom of the barrel garbage either.
Mm-hmm. And
It
that's
just
the
seems like
thing.
it's a lot of, but I think it's just a lot of like C rank shows that have been coming out because they're putting out so many shows that they're not focusing on quality of a good story or things of that nature. Apothecary Diaries has a fantastic story. Um, Love some of the character development in that. And there's just something about Mao Mao that makes her an absolutely adorable character. Not waifu character, but an adorable character.
Agreed. And John Knight says favorite show from winter is Dr. Stone. Final season part 1 dub. And Ross says for him it's appraisal skill I'm the strongest. Um if if I had to pick a favorite out of new and not and disregard my season 2s, I think I'm going to go with Ameko Ameko
Doctor,
MD.
I was about to say the doctor one.
Yup, because it's new and different. It's new and different for anime, but it's basically a retelling of Sherlock Holmes, but it's new and different enough where it's fantastic.
There was another series that's either coming out or it might be that one where they said that the show House,
Yup,
the one about the medical doctor,
it is this
what
one.
it is that one.
Yup, because the first episode, or I read the description and went, it's basically House.
And you know what's funny? House is known for making anime and pop culture references. Um, he actually made a Pokemon reference to Arceus.
I missed that, but I do remember the pop culture references.
Because he mentioned Arceus created the universe or something or another, and the guys like and the guys was like Arceus. He's like, look it up.
And I will say, and House in and of itself is a variant of Sherlock Holmes.
It was a very good show.
Agreed.
I'm not big into like medical shows and stuff, and even I enjoyed House.
I've only ever seen clips of it in my feeds, but the clips I've seen have been very interesting. Um,
Um,
my
and
my dad wasn't the one to watch like medical shows, but going along with the kind of themes like that, like Person of Interest or something like that, was kind of his type, and I could see some correlation to an extent in the way they think.
um, Spike Bebop in the chat, do you play any Hoyoverse games? I personally do not know what you mean by Hoyoverse.
I know what he's talking about.
Hoyoverse. Hoyoverse. Games like Genshin Impact. Um, things along that genre.
Oh, the gacha games?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, and Triple Z, whatever that that one is. No, I don't actually play those kinds of games.
I still like y'all's idea of putting a gacha parlor in Vegas. You'll make a killing.
I mean, Vegas already does make a killing, but you know.
I mean, it hasn't been restocked, but there was actually a gotcha area in the mall in Allentown.
Do I need to actually
Pioneer the idea? Yes.
do I need to actually be on air from Las Vegas?
Sure.
If you want to. Or 20 in a machine for me.
I've never been. The closest I've seen to gambling is the traveling up and down I-95. Every now and then you'll stop at a gas station that has some slot machines in it or something along those lines.
To answer Spike's question, I don't believe so.
It could be, but
There's
I think
there's a lot of Chinese influences in certain parts of Vegas, but that goes back to well before my time.
And there are a
I
lot
think
of slot machines that have Chinese-based like currency and symbols and stuff.
And and Ross, bringing us back to anime. For anyone who likes classic literature, Anne of Green Gables will have 24 episodes in April. And Ross, that is very much on my radar because Anne of Green Gables was a book series that was very influential to me as a child.
about to say, didn't we talk about some of our classic childhood stories from the West getting anime adaptations? The one night Doug wasn't able to join.
I think we've talked. I remember discussing some of this at one point.
I was a part of a conversation like about this at one point too, and Ross continues to say that the classic story Alice in Wonderland is also getting an anime movie.
Yep.
And it'll be very interesting to see how they do it.
Wow.
Part of me with some of this stuff, it's like it's an interesting idea, but at the same point in time, why? Are you out of ideas?
The answer is why? Because money. I mean,
hell, look at Hollywood. Look at Hollywood and Disney and stuff. Have they actually come out with an original concept in the past 5 years? Like really?
I'm gonna say yes and no.
More toward no, but
I'm sure there's one or two off the top of my head, but so much is sequels and adaptations that
and reboots and remakes.
exactly. But no, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with the Anne of Green Gables adaptation. I'm looking forward to that, and I hope I'm not disappointed. I mean, Alice in Wonderland is one that was retold before. I mean, the most recent season of Ruby was very much a variant of a variant of Alice in Wonderland.
And to be fair, there's been a number of anime that, while not making a whole series about it, they reference some of those classics quite often.
Oh yeah. Um, and Ross is reminding me of a while back he mentioned some classic literature from over here will be getting mangas like Great Gatsby. They
Yep,
did it,
yep.
and they did it with Batman Ninja, and also
Lego Batman.
The Suicide Squad anime.
About to say, what was the overall consensus on that? I didn't even follow it. Was it good, bad, meh? I I'd
I
have to
haven't
look at
heard.
Um,
it because you heard hype about it, then you never really heard much after that.
according to my social media feeds, reviews were mixed. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was very mid.
And let me check my anime list. Uh, okay, so it got a 6.46 on now, which isn't terrible, but
I,
if it's below a 7, then it wasn't the greatest.
I maintain my point stands mid.
Speaking of Mal, watched a recent Trash Taste episode where they were playing, or I don't think it was a Trash Taste episode. I think it was one of the Trash Taste guys. I think it was a gig video actually.
And
What was on a website. He was doing a live stream and wanted to play a high low game based off of Mal rankings for anime.
Oh God, that sounds more like Connor, to be honest. But you know,
If I can find that site, that could be a fun game to play and see how big of a streak we could get, especially Darren, where he's like the MAL king.
I love my MAL. What can I say?
And the categories they had anime, they had manga, they had
Light novels.
characters.
Oh, they didn't do light novels?
I think light novels were included in manga.
Okay, because they did add a light novel section like several years ago.
And it was one of those things of, okay, you had, we'll say, like High School DxD season 1, and then they'll put for say like 100 Girlfriend season 1. Is that a higher rank or lower rank than High School DxD? And you'd have to guess higher or lower. And if you get it right, the next show that they put up is based off of, okay, is it higher or lower than 100 Girlfriends? And it just continues on. The highest that they got, and the highest run that the content creator or the chat got, I think, was 16 in a row.
Wow. Still impressive.
that's impressive. I don't think we could do that.
Darren might.
Darren might. I don't think you or I could do that, Doug. No,
I don't think so. Because a lot of times they were putting up shows I'd never heard of. Ross in the chat says, this is just making you guys laugh so you have a good week. I tossed away an idea of actually getting a Black Bunny mascot suit to meet Brittany Karbowski at an anime fest because of her scene in Ghost Stories.
Have not seen Ghost Stories, so I don't know which scene they're talking about.
I haven't seen it in a long time, and I don't remember either. Who was Brittany in Ghost Stories? That might help jog my...
Give me 10 seconds, I'll figure it out. The Anime News Network.
Damn it! Now I'm cold.
Go get your Ruby blanket.
Oh, she was
Already there.
Mio. Who was... I'm trying to remember who Mio was. She was a side character.
Yeah, go figure. And let's see, storyboard, episode director, art, animation director, producer.
There's also Datsuba. She was Leo's mom.
You
Mio
said Brittany.
Soup.
You said Brittany Karbowski.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking. Datsueba Enfermita de la Mexicana, Leo's mom, and Mio. So Mio was in episode 9, and Datsueba was a girl in episode 8.
Okay. Enferma de la Mexicana. So she made multiple appearances in there.
Wait a sec, there was more than one dub?
What is it?
It says there's an Animax dub. Huh. Yeah, it has a couple of these with side notes saying Animax dub.
Animax might have been who originally dubbed it way back in 2000.
I don't know.
Give me a sec. Hold on.
Darren's doing his research.
You do that, I'm going to check the football game.
2 minutes
you're
left,
doing a different
32-29. Chiefs.
God damn it.
Bills have the ball.
Goes.
Last time I looked, it was tied with like 6 minutes to go.
When I last looked, the Bills were down 29-22.
No, I don't want Ghost in the Shell.
The scene in Ghost Story she was in was when she was telling the rabbit, I know now it will never work between us. Not because you're rabbit, but because you're black.
Okay, I know that scene.
Okay, I know that scene too.
That's one of the funny one-liners in that. That's right there with, are there any books in here written by black people? Yeah.
Okay, it says. Okay, so the licensors was ADV Films and Discotheque Media. It doesn't say who authorized the dub. So if Discotheque Media did it, then and the producers were Aniplex and Fuji TV. Oh, it was Studio Pierrot. Okay. Okay.
Brittany does have some iconic characters that she's voiced.
Let's see. No,
I like a lot of the work that Brittany's done.
She was a really nice person too. I think that's the one I got pictures with. And she went out of her way to. She went from behind her booth she left her booth multiple times to take pictures with fans.
Yeah, Brittany loves her fans. That's one thing that I can say about her. I can remember years ago, the only time that I went to Katsucon down in the DC area. I had gone with the intention of getting her to autograph my certain magical index, because Makoto Misaka is one of my favorite characters that she voices. But I also had Heaven's Lost Property sleeve with me, and she demanded to sign both. They said that they only wanted one thing signed, but she was like, no, you don't understand, I want to sign this, because I forgot she had voiced Ikaros as well. So I got it. And then just as they were announcing that they were out of time, she went from behind her booth and walked down the line of probably 50 to 100 people and was like, who here has something that they want me to sign? I will go down the line right now and sign everything. Which sometimes is unheard of at especially bigger cons because they're always on a time crunch, need to get to here or there, whatever the case may be. She was absolutely amazing and just, you know, a sweetheart of a person.
Okay, so context, Doug. Okay, let's see. So the Animax dub is actually a lost version of Ghost Stories. So apparently there were actually two dubs for Ghost Stories. The one we all know, and one that actually stayed true to the script from Japan.
Interesting.
So there's a Reddit thread about it. A lot of people remember the anime Ghost Stories for its over-the-top English dub, but no one seems to know about the other dub, which stayed true to the original script. It is pretty much impossible to find it online, and the only proof of its existence is the Wikipedia page of the anime and the English cast list on Anime News Network, which is where I was. Okay, edit, and then they edited their post in 2016. A user by the name of uploaded some of the episodes on their Dailymotion account, but so far it's only episodes 5 through 9, so it is partially found. So I did not know that. And it says Animax dubs are usually only aired in Asia. From what I was also told is the dubs are Sony produced, which means Sony has all these alternate dubs locked in their vault. Okay, so down the road they could pull like some of these other shows over the years and that had quote unquote lost episodes and release them if they so choose to.
Okay. Ross in the chat says Ghost Stories was the Saturday Night Live of anime. Kind of was. I can kind of agree with that statement, Ross. Just because of the lines that it pushed.
Mm.
But I'm excited about seeing what happens. Like I said, I may try to see if I can get out to Kineticon because of the guest list that they have. Really want to meet Bryn April in person. Been a while since we've talked with her on the show. I have the Show by Rock art book that I've been getting autographs from a lot of the voice actors that was in that. And since she was the voice of Cyan, the main character from the original Show by Rock, I have to get that. I have to go and get that if we financially can make it out there. A 4-hour drive for a convention may seem like a long way for one day, but I've done it before. I'm a little bit insane for doing something like that, but then again, Ross in the chat says for Angela, it is confirmed by Netflix season 2 of One Piece live action will air this year.
Yep. So I heard.
What's your thoughts on a second season of One Piece?
Can't wait.
I know a lot of people were talking about, they were curious as to how they were going to bring Chopper in.
I don't want to actually. I want to be pleasantly surprised.
And can they do it in a way that keeps it as entertaining as the first season was? Because even though I haven't seen it, I've heard a lot of good things about the One Piece live action, saying that it's like the only live action of an anime adaptation that's any good. I know, Ange, you've seen a lot of anime adaptations, live action stuff, and you said a lot of it is meh to terrible.
There's been some good, some bad, some very mid, and some that simply could have been better. I will say, out of the anime specific adaptations, One Piece is by the bar has been set. One Piece was fantastic, and I can't wait to see what they do with season 2.
Well, hopefully they're able to continue and have it be a good season.
Agreed.
And final 32-29 Chiefs win. Damn it.
Ugh, that's
So not a very entertaining Super Bowl. Eagles versus Chiefs. Very predictable.
yep. And
So
and that's the second time now the Bills have choked 4 in a row.
they cannot beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
But if they had, they would have complete their Super Bowl appearances against the NFC East.
Yeah. Really was hoping for the Bills to win, but
I think most of the country was.
Yes.
I saw some football posts from my some of my friends today that are obviously not any of them fans, but it just said, please, please win New York.
Anybody but Kansas City's been the trend, and
I fall into the ABC ranks. Anybody but Chiefs.
yup.
So I'll be rooting Eagles.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles are lesser of two evils.
I am just so disappointed. I wanted to see Bills Lions, if I'm being honest.
So did I, and then the Lions laid an egg against Washington.
The Lions choked it. What in the heck happened there?
I mean, at least the Bills made a game out of it, I mean, only losing by a field goal to the Chiefs.
As opposed to the Commanders that got steamrolled by Philly.
The Eagles putting up the most points in NFC playoff history with 55, a 55-23 win. That was just
what in the
good old-fashioned butt kicking.
And John Knight says that he and his family are going to Baltimore tomorrow for his sister's college tour.
Oh, sweet. I hope you have a wonderful time in Baltimore.
Agreed. It's a nice
Some
city.
of it is a beautiful city. Just stay in the good areas.
And Ross's final question. If you could bring back a revised show that is either nostalgic or got cut short and was good, what show would you bring back? For him, it was a medical show in 2016 called Pure Genius.
So is this anime or overall?
I'd say I got an anime show in particular I would love to see, even though the manga's completed. I would love to see this one played out, especially with all the hype they built up and fourth wall breaking they did at the end of season 2.
Overall, okay. So what show do you have, Darren?
Medaka Box.
If I had to go overall, like a nostalgic show that I'd like to see brought back, and this is how old I am, I really enjoyed Cheers. I thought that was a very good sitcom. Not because it was Boston based. I just thought overall it was a good show. If I went anime, I would say New Game, or not New Game, No Game No Life, where
Of
they
course.
didn't even complete, like they started it and it had a lot of potential after the first season. Then they put the movie out that was like a prequel to the whole storyline, and then you got nothing.
Well, it's partially due to the author getting in trouble for tax evasion.
Yeah, but still,
I said
you
partially.
know what I mean. There was a lot of hype. You had a lot of build up in the story, and season 1 was really good. The concept behind it was really good and original. It just would have been
Yeah.
nice to have seen more come from it.
Agreed. And to that extent, going back to Medaka Box and also kind of No Game No Life, I really would have liked to have seen more out of Problem Children because the light novel for that went really deep, to my understanding.
Ross says for anime, oh my goddess, I don't know. I feel having seen that one, I feel like that one actually was a complete story.
Dumb question. So, is Oh My Goddess and Oh My Buddha two totally different things, or are they somewhat related to each other?
I'm not sure.
I've never heard of the one you mentioned, so I
I've
don't know.
heard of On My Buddha. I think it might be spin-off, but I'm not 100% sure.
And I genuinely have no idea.
They are separate, Darren.
Okay.
I genuinely just don't have any idea because
Then you have the taco restaurant anime On My Toilet.
yeah, no,
That could be an isekai. It just shakes her head.
Yep.
This week on On My Toilet, too much curry. Oh.
Okay, so apparently there was quite a bit of Oh My Goddess. So it looks like there's the OVA, there's the TV series, there's a sequel, Oh My Goddess, Flights of Fantasy. Then we have Flights of Fancy, excuse me. And we got Fighting Wings, Flights of Fancy Specials, The Adventures of Mini Goddess,
Ross,
and then they did Together Forever in 2011, and that's it.
Ross, I'm going to be honest, Family Matters was okay, but not something I watched after a certain point.
My Two Dads, was that one you watched?
Nope.
You're not far behind me in age.
I
Three's
didn't
Company.
I didn't watch a lot of TV.
Likewise, I didn't watch a whole lot growing up.
And
MacGyver.
and like what I did watch it all either ended well or it ended so bad. Or the one that came to mind was Heroes, but only season 1. Never watched Doogie Howser, Ross. Like, I was home so little as a teenager that I was very picky. You know what? Actually, honestly, now that I think about it a little more, The X-Files is probably the one I would bring back. As far as anime goes, I'm again not sure because a lot of what I've seen is like all nice and contained, or season 2 or beyond is has already been announced. But
We
hey,
do
look what that.
Attack on Titan and end it when it should have been ended.
Oh God, we're leaving Attack on Titan out of this. But look what time it is.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Thank you for everybody for showing up and hanging out with us. It was so great to chat with everybody in the chat. Thank you to Ross and John, Nunya, Sharka, everybody who came in to say hello and have some awesome questions and comments. Thank you to Darren and Angela for joining me tonight. Always fun to chat with you guys, especially when I can make it. Next Sunday, as long as I'm home, we could have a special guest, depending on their schedule and my schedule.
Yay!
I'm not going to say who, but this is going to be a guest that's contingent on me being here because
Work.
of work, and it's somebody that I know on a personal level that I want to bring on to give some credit where credit's due, or blame, depending on who you are. So until next week, I hope everybody stays safe out there in the wild weather that has been coming across. If you're in California, please be safe around the wildfires. Those that were affected by the hurricane earlier this year down in the Carolinas and in that area, thoughts and prayers are still with you. I know that the rebuilding takes a long time. You guys are not lost in our thoughts and prayers just because other disasters have happened. Still do think about everybody that was affected by those. Wish everybody out there, like I said, safe and happy week, productive week. Keep watching anime, enjoying the video games, and we'll see you here again next Sunday for more Anime-Zing Radio on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Have a great night, all.
Bye, everybody.